The film begins when Jun-soo's friends, Kai-suk and Jun-sung, were fighting against a gang from another school. Kai-suk and Jun-sung were losing the fight, but suddenly, not long after, Jun-soo came with his motorbike. At first, the gang underestimated Jun-soo, who came alone, but with his martial arts skills, Jun-soo was able to fight everyone there easily. Thanks to Jun-soo's help, they finally managed to defeat their enemies, but this fight reached the ears of Jun-soo's father, who was a martial arts trainer. Jun-soo got this martial arts ability from his father. After hearing the news, his father was fuming and beat him for good. The next day, a strange young woman wearing a chicken costume came to the front of Jun-soo's school. Not long after, Jun-soo, who was already late, almost hit her with his bike. Instead of avoiding her, he stopped in front of her. The girl, whose name is Kim Bile, was amazed with Jun-soo's handsomeness, while Jun-soo was not at all interested in her. Without wasting more time, Jun-soo left his motorbike with the seller in front of the school and then jumped over the gate so he could enter the school. That day, Jun-soo and Jun-sung were punished by Ms. Cho after she found out about the incident with students from another school. Not even a week ago, they were punished for the same thing, and now they did it again. They were indeed delinquents, and most teachers knew about it. It didn't stop there. Their parents also ended up being called to school to be accountable for what they did. On the same day, Jun-soo's class had a new student who was none other than Kim Bile, who met Jun-soo in front of the school before. She was a former student at the best school in South Korea, but for some reason, she decided to stop and move to this school. She then sat next to Jun-soo. She didn't hesitate to sit there even though Jun-soo had asked her to move. During recess, Jun-soo and Jun-sung were talking about their friend Kai-suk, who didn't come that day while smoking, but shortly after, Kim Bile came and stopped them both, saying that cigarettes were not something healthy to consume. Before leaving them, she also deliberately hit Jun-sung's head. In the evening, Jun-soo and Jun-sung immediately met Kai-suk, who apparently worked part-time to support his sick mother. When Jun-soo returned to his house, he found the house empty. He then turned on the TV and saw a recording of his parents who had left. They deliberately left Jun-soo alone as a punishment for what he had done and would return there if Jun-soo realized his mistakes. They also closed Jun-soo's credit card and only left him $100. They asked Jun-soo to save money instead of being thrifty, but Jun-soo instead intended to buy soju. While he was busy shopping, he found a baby abandoned by his parents. He immediately took the child to the information center, but they never found the baby's parents. Even in the letter left by the baby, Jun-soo was said to be the baby's parents. This left Jun-soo no other choice but to take the baby home. When he arrived home, he invited his friends and asked for what to do with the baby, but they said that the baby was very similar to Jun-soo. Appeared as an uninvited guest, Kim Bile's presence made Jun-soo annoyed, but thankfully, her presence there was enough to help them take care of the baby, which they then named Woo-ram. The next day, Jun-soo immediately met his exes. He asked if one of them was the mother of the baby. Hearing this, his exes were mad and slapped him. That night, Jun-soo planned to feed the baby, but it didn't work out. Woo-ram refused to drink the milk and was kicking here and there. This made Jun-soo even more confused and didn't know what he should do. He didn't have any other choice but to call Kim Bile to help him. When she got there, she said that when the baby couldn't stay still, the first thing to do was to check his diaper. In another place, Jun-soo's parents were seen staying in a sauna near their house. The reason they did this was so they could keep an eye on Jun-soo, and if they had gone somewhere else, Jun-soo would have known where they were. That night, Woo-ram couldn't stop crying, so Jun-soo intended to throw him in the trash. But when he did this, someone saw him and he decided to leave from there. After that, Jun-soo tried to leave the baby in an orphanage, but he unexpectedly met an old man who did the same thing. They had the same fate and tried to abandon the baby. Jun-soo looked too young to be a father and the man was too old, so no one believed that it was their child. The next day, Ms. Cho called Jun-soo. She was angry and asked him to come to school, but Jun-soo said that he really couldn't come that day. She threatened to expel him if he didn't come immediately. Jun-soo had no other choice but to immediately come to school with Woo-ram. When he arrived at school, everyone welcomed Woo-ram nicely, except for one student who was annoyed with Woo-ram's crying. Jun-soo was annoyed with that boy and smeared Woo-ram's diaper on the boy's book. Jun-soo, who brought the baby to school, became a topic of conversation among the teachers. They planned to expel Jun-soo because they thought he had tainted the school's reputation, but Ms. Cho, who heard this, tried to defend Jun-soo. Not long after that, Kim Bile appeared in the teacher's office and said that there were no special rules that prohibited students from bringing babies to school, which meant that Jun-soo had done nothing wrong at all. That night, Jun-soo met Kai-suk in the hospital. Knowing that Kai-suk was in need of money, Jun-soo gave him some money. He got the money from selling his motorbike. This was proven by Jun-soo, who went home by train. When he got off the train, he forgot about Woo Ram, who was still inside the train. He tried to catch the train, but he was too late. He then realized there was a big opportunity for him to get rid of the baby. However, when he got home and saw Woo Ram's belongings, his mind suddenly changed. He immediately went to the police station and asked for help from them to look for Woo Ram. When he got home after finding Woo Ram, he found Kim Bile already waiting for him in front of his house. She returned to help Jun Soo to take care of Woo Ram. Kim Bile said that the reason why Woo Ram didn't stop crying was that he needed breast milk, so the very next day, Jun Soo immediately went to the civil registry office to look for data on mothers who had just given birth, then came to them one by one to ask for their breast milk. He tried hard to make them feel sorry for Woo Ram and gave him their breast milk. After running out of money, Jun Soo ended up working part-time to support himself and Woo Ram. He worked in a restaurant while carrying Woo Ram, which made the customers pity him and gave him quite a lot of tips. After he finished delivering the customers' food, he also had to distribute flyers outside, which made it impossible to bring Woo Ram because it was very cold. Finally, he left Woo Ram with several women there. At first, Jun Soo felt safe leaving Woo Ram with them, but when he returned, the women had left from there, leaving the baby alone, which made Jun Soo disappointed, and promised not to leave him again. The next day, when he returned to school, he received a unilateral decision from the school. It turned out that the school decided to suspend him because he was considered an embarrassment to the school. Taking care of Woo Ram made Jun Soo a little depressed because there were many people who couldn't accept him having a baby. He then went to drink until he got drunk and expressed his annoyance at everyone who thought that an 18-year-old boy shouldn't be a father and have a baby. When he returned home, he saw Kim Bile, who had been waiting in front of the house, but because he didn't want to cause her more burden, he decided to leave there. But instead, he was surprised by the arrival of Kim Bile's father, who's finally invited him to drink nearby. He thanked Jun Soo for succeeding in making his daughter go back to school. He also told the story of his daughter. Kim Bile was born as a child who had extraordinary intelligence. She mastered something better than any other person, even making her teachers at school overwhelmed to answer her questions and were afraid to meet her. Her intelligence was a disaster for other people and caused much trouble until one day, Kim Bile was asked to withdraw voluntarily from school, but after some time she surprised her parents because she suddenly wanted to go back to school. Her father felt that Jun Soo was the reason Kim Bile wanted to go back to school. One day, Kim Bile's parents met Jun Soo's parents at the sauna. Jun Soo's father was Kim Bile's father senior. While they were busy talking, Kim Bile's parents mentioned their daughter who was late. Her mother said that she must be taking care of Woo Ram. Hearing that name, Jun Soo's father asked them about it. At first, Jun Soo's father thought that they had another child, but Kim Bile's father explained that Kim Bile had a high school friend who already had a child. Hearing this, Jun Soo's father immediately got angry and cursed, not knowing that what was being discussed was his own child. The next day, Kim Bile came out of Jun Soo's house carrying Woo Ram. Not long after, a woman came to the house and asked who the baby was. Kim Bile answered that the baby belonged to the owner of the house. Hearing this, the woman immediately became angry and looked for the owner of the house. Not long after, Jun Soo finally came out and followed them. When Kim Bile was about to leave for school for the exam, Jun Soo was going to go to work, and before separating, Jun Soo stroked Kim Bile's head, which made her touched by his kindness. It turned out that at that time, Jun Soo didn't actually go to work, but he was looking for work. Sadly, out of the many places he went to, no one accepted him because he was carrying a baby. After looking for work all day, Jun Soo decided to buy food, but because he only had a few cents, he decided to buy milk. After drinking it, he was going to share it with Woo Ram, but unfortunately, the milk fell and spilled. He then realized that someone drunk was lying next to him. He then tried to take the man's wallet. However, the man realized this and immediately chased Jun Soo. Jun Soo, who tried to run away, instead got into a police car. Finally, the police caught him and he was taken to the police station. Shortly after, Ms. Cho came to bail Jun Soo out. When she arrived, the police mistook her for the baby's mother, which made Ms. Cho annoyed. After leaving the police station, Ms. Cho didn't stop scolding Jun Soo because he had tested her patience, but Jun Soo promised to immediately apologize and fix everything. Before leaving, Ms. Cho, who felt sorry for Jun Soo, gave him some money to take care of Woo Ram. At home, it turned out that Jun Soo's parents had returned. Jun Soo then explained that the baby was his child with the woman he was dating. Feeling guilty, Jun Soo ended up crying in his father's arms. The next day, Jun Soo left Woo Ram with his mother, even though at that time his mother was sick. When he arrived at school, Jun Soo's father begged for his son to be accepted back, but the principal emphasized that they could not accept students who already had babies. Not long after, Kim Bile appeared and said that the school had no special rules prohibiting students from bringing babies. Hearing this, Junsu's father immediately became angry because the principal had suspended his son even though he had done nothing wrong. At the same time, suddenly they got a call from Junsu's mother who said that Woo-ram was hospitalized. When Junsu arrived at the hospital, he suddenly shouted at his mother because she couldn't take care of Woo-ram properly. Hearing this, his father immediately became angry and slapped him. He then left from there. When he returned home, he found his mother's notes and saw how worried his mother was when he suffered from pneumonia a long time ago. After that, he finally returned to the hospital and met his mother who was looking after Woo-ram. He was very sorry for his actions, but his mother really understood what Junsu was feeling. Every parent would definitely feel worried if something bad happened to their child. That night, Junsu also met Kaisuk. That time, Kaisuk apologized for what he did to Junsu. It turned out that Woo-ram was Kaisuk's child. At that time, his girlfriend entrusted Woo-ram to him because she couldn't take care of him alone and was going to move to America. Kaisuk, who also couldn't take care of Woo-ram, finally planned what happened at the supermarket. Hearing this explanation, Junsu beat him and asked why he had the heart to do this. It turned out that the thing that made Kaisuk have the heart to throw away Woo-ram was that he didn't have enough money to take care of him. After hearing all the explanations, Junsu returned home and asked to immediately return Woo-ram to his real parents. The next day when Junsu woke up, he seemed to hear Woo-ram crying even though Woo-ram was no longer there. Since that day, Junsu had lost his motivation to live. He was devastated and had no appetite to do anything, so one day at school, Kim Bile and Junsung came to him to talk about Woo-ram, but Junsu didn't want to discuss this at all. Finally, Junsung said that Woo-ram would be adopted and taken abroad, but Junsu just stayed silent. In a different place, Kaisuk felt very sad because he had to let go of Woo-ram even though he really wanted to see him grow. The next day, Kaisuk and the others finally gave Woo-ram to their adoptive parents. Woo-ram seemed not at all comfortable with them and continued to cry. In another place, Junsu changed his mind and finally tried to chase Woo-ram to the airport. He rode through the streets using his motorbike without caring what was in front of him. At the airport, he couldn't find Woo-ram and thought that he had already left there. But Junsu didn't stop there. He tried to cross the gate and chase Woo-ram, but unfortunately, he was blocked by airport officials. On the other hand, Woo-ram was seen crying as if he was calling for Junsu and wanting to stay with him. Junsu cried and begged for his baby to be returned to him. Long story short, Junsu finally managed to get Woo-ram back and Kaisuk was very indebted to him. After that, Kaisuk and Junzero Sum left Junsu and Kim Bile with Woo-ram. The film closes by showing Kim Bile giving Junsu a sweet kiss.